Do you find that you're often stuck when you're speaking with people at conferences or outings? Welcome. My name is Dr. Yo Adinoga. Welcome to the Equip 360 platform. I help professional women and leaders to be more, to do more, to communicate with confidence, and to lead with clarity. So, recently or right now, I'm in an investigators meeting for where I work, and I have to meet with people that I've not seen in over a year. I have to meet with people that I've never met before, and many people will find out that when they're in this kind of platform, they get stuck. They don't know what to say. They feel sweaty. They feel nervous. They feel that they will say rubbish, and they're just not comfortable making that connection that they ought to. So today I'm going to talk about 4 good ways that you can, or 4 good words that you can use that to make you to never feel stuck. And so these 4 words would be, it reminds me of. So leaders, listen carefully. Making these talks is a bridge and a connection to making the more important talk that you need. And when you're able to make this kind of conversations, it builds and helps you to excel professionally and even your personal lives or relationships with your children. So being able to initiate small talks without being scared or without feeling that you're not able to go on is so crucial. So 4 things I would mention and 4 options. Number one, for instance, when one of them were like, "Oh, where did you travel from?" I mentioned that I was traveling from Maryland. She said she was coming from New York. Like, "Oh my God, New York! This reminds me of when I was in New York and have to travel by train or by bus." And they're like, "Yes," and they mentioned their experiences, right? And the other thing that you could say is, so that is talking about places you've been. The other thing is personal, your personal life. For instance, one of the people said, "Oh, my son is calling me and they're always calling me for this and that." I was like, "Oh my God, children." It reminds me of my son who just went to college, and he would call me and say, "Hey, Mom, do you know where this?" I'm like, "I don't know where it is." And we all laugh about it. And they now start asking other questions and talking about themselves. That actually bridges the gap. So we've mentioned 2. 1, places you've been. 2 is personal thing, your family, right? The third thing I'll talk about is what you've watched, what you've seen. One of them just made a presentation, and we're like, "Hi, how's everything?" I was like, "Oh, great presentation." And she was like, "Yes, can you imagine?" So I was like, "Yes, what you mentioned reminded me of this experience I've had. You mentioned about this, and I could remember seeing your slides on A, B, C, and D." They were so happy. That was really a gap. And, "Oh, thank you for asking." So that actually um connected us because she sees that I get her. I listen to her presentation. I know what she's speaking about. So the last thing is, for instance, where you've lived or your personal story. What personal stories do you have? And one of them was talking about her father, the fact that um, she had to go visit her dad. I was like, "Oh yeah, it reminds me of my dad as well, who is back in Nigeria, and how I have to check up on him." One of my ringtone went off, and she was like, "Oh, does any of your child play roadblocks?" I said, "Yes, it does." And she does. I said, "Oh, this is what happens." And I was like, "Yes, it reminds me of the ringtone that comes up, and you're like, okay, is this me? Is this my phone, or is this the child that is playing that ringtone on the road plug?" So those are 4 ways in which you could actually connect with people by using the 4 words, "It reminds me of." Right? 1, your personal story. 2, a place you've been. 3, something you've watched or seen. And 4 is your family. So it's nice connecting with you. Thank you for joining me today. And if you like what I've shared, please like it, share it, comment. I want to hear from you. The other thing that I want to also say is, next week I'm going to start a very interactive session. It's a 6-week interactive session. It's called the Influence Edge. How do you influence people through your speaking? How do you influence people through your interaction, how to influence people through the way you act, the way you interact. So stay tuned. The description will be the link to that session will be in the description. So go in and then join me. I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye then. Cheers.